The galaxy had once been a thriving expanse, full of life, power, and the unspoken promise of eternal progress. But for all its grandeur, it was fragile. There were whispers among the stars of an ancient weapon, a creation older than most civilizations, capable of erasing everything in its path, a weapon that could obliterate a galaxy in the blink of an eye. Its origins were shrouded in mystery, a relic of a forgotten race, lost to time and the ravages of war. No one knew where it had come from or what purpose it had originally served, but one thing was certain. It was beyond anything any species had ever created. And only one person would ever be able to wield it, a human. The weapon itself was a massive, terrifying construct, floating in the empty expanse of space. It resembled an enormous ring, adorned with countless alien symbols and geometric designs, its surface both metallic and crystalline, alive with shifting patterns of energy. Its core pulsed with an ominous glow, an undulating light that rippled outward through the machinery in veins of raw power. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a force, a living, breathing entity of destruction. For eons it had drifted, abandoned and forgotten, floating at the edge of a dead star system, unnoticed by the civilizations that came and went. But that was before humanity found it. It had been a time of galactic turmoil, where an unstable peace between multiple interstellar factions was on the verge of collapse. Humanity, caught in the crossfire of greater powers, had been on the losing side of the struggle. Desperation pushed them to search for any means of survival, anything that could tip the balance in their favor. That was when the discovery was made, an ancient artifact hidden in the forgotten reaches of space, untouched for millennia. A signal had led them there, a faint whisper of a long-lost civilization. And at the heart of it all was the weapon. Humanity was faced with a daunting realization. They had found the power to destroy entire galaxies, but no one knew how to activate it. Scientists, engineers, and military strategists pored over the weapon, scanning its intricate designs and systems. But it was beyond their understanding. The energy core, the alien technology embedded within, resisted all attempts at study. It was not made for human hands, and every attempt to control it ended in failure. The weapon seemed alive, rejecting all but one thing, the presence of a single human. When the first volunteer entered the control chamber, a strange phenomenon occurred. The machine activated. The glowing core flared to life, the energy veins igniting, as if it had been waiting for this moment. The human who stood before the weapon wasn't the most skilled soldier, nor the most brilliant scientist. In fact, they were an ordinary person, one of many who had been chosen at random, a member of humanity's army thrust into the role of savior. But when they reached out and connected with the weapon, something within them changed. It wasn't simply a matter of control, it was a bond, an understanding that flowed between the human and the weapon itself. The alien technology responded, attuned to their mind, to their will. In that moment, the human became the weapon's master, its wielder. The decision to wield such power was not one made lightly. The human understood the weight of what they had done, the power to annihilate everything, to destroy entire star systems and galaxies, was not something that could be used without consequence. Yet, faced with the chaos of war and the annihilation of their people, there was no other choice. The human entered the core of the weapon, standing before the control interface, their thoughts focused, their will unwavering. The weapon hummed, its energy intensifying as the human's mind synchronized with the machinery. It was as if the weapon recognized its new purpose, a force to restore balance, but at what cost? The first activation was both beautiful and horrifying. A pulse of energy shot out from the weapon's core, tearing through the fabric of space, leaving nothing but silence in its wake. A distant star system, once teeming with life and civilizations, was reduced to nothingness in an instant. The weapon had fulfilled its function, destroying an entire galaxy in one sweep. And as the humans stood at the control interface, watching the destruction unfold, they felt both a sense of triumph and an overwhelming weight of guilt. The galaxy would never be the same. The weapon's power, once unleashed, was a double-edged sword. It had the potential to end the war, to tip the balance in humanity's favor, but it also carried with it the threat of total annihilation. In the aftermath, factions that once fought for control now trembled, knowing that humanity possessed the means to obliterate them all. The human who wielded the weapon became a symbol, a figure both revered and feared. They were humanity's savior, but also its most dangerous asset. The weapon remained at humanity's disposal, dormant for the time being, as political leaders and military commanders debated its use. The human who had wielded it stood as a sentinel, guarding the ultimate weapon with a quiet resolve. There was no turning back. The galaxy had seen the power of humanity's creation, and the future of the universe had been forever altered. The question now was not whether the weapon would be used again, but who would wield it, and what the cost of wielding such power would ultimately be.